to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to love. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace, a time you may embrace, time to refrain from embracing. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. A time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to reap, a time to sow. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of peace. I swear it's not too late.
Good afternoon. This is a reading from Mr. Doyle. There is a time for everything, for all things under the sun. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to laugh and a time to cry. A time to dance and a time to mourn. A time to seek and a time to lose. A time to forget and a time to remember. This day, in sacred convocation, we remember those who gave us life. We remember those who enriched our lives with love and beauty, kindness and compassion, thoughtfulness and understanding. We renew our bonds to those who have gone the way of all the earth. As we reflect upon those whose memories move us this day, we seek consolation and the strength and the insight born of faith. Tender as a father with his children, the Lord is merciful with his worshipers. He knows how we are fashioned, remembers that we are dust. Our days are as grass, we flourish as a flower in the field. The wind passes over it and it is gone, and no one can recognize where it grew. But the Lord's compassion for his worshipers, his righteousness to his children's children remain age after age unchanging. 70 our years may number, 80 years have granted the vigor. Laden with trouble and travel, life quickly passes, it flies away. What are mortals, eternal God, that you should be mindful of them? What are mortals, that you should take note of them, that you have made them little less than the angels? The sounds of infants attest to your power. The magnificence of life reflects your glory. The heavens display your splendor. What majesty is yours throughout the world. Teach us, to use all of our days, O Lord, that we may attain a heart of wisdom. Grant us of your love in the mornings, that we may joyously sing throughout the day. When I stray from you, O Lord, my life is as death. But when I cleave to you, even in death I have life. The earth inherits that which perishes. The dust returns to dust. But the soul which is God's is immortal. The Lord has compassion for his creatures. He has planted eternity within our soul, granting us a share in his unending life. He redeems our life from the grave. May we all be charitable in deed and in thought, in memory of those we love who walk the earth no longer. May we live unselfishly in truth and love and peace, so that we will be remembered as a blessing, as we this day lovingly remember those whose lives endured as a blessing. Our generations are bound to each other as children now remember their parents. Love is strong as death, as husbands and wives now remember their mates, as parents now remember their children. Memory conquers death's dominion, as we now remember our brothers and sisters, grandparents, and other relatives and friends. The death of those we now remember left gaping holes in our lives, but we are grateful for the gift of their lives. And we are strengthened by the blessing which they have left us, by precious memories which comfort and sustain us as we recall them this day. Eternal God, Master of mercy, give us the gift of remembering. May our memories of the day be tender and true, undiminished by time, not falsified by sentimentality. Let us recall them and love them as they were. Give us the gift of tears. Let us express the sense of loss, of sorrow, of pain, as well as our gratitude and our love. Give us the gift of prayer. May we confront you with an open heart, with trusted faith, unembarrassed and unashamed. Give us the gift of hope. May we always believe the beauty of life, the power of goodness, the right to joy. May we surrender our being and the soul of the dead to your eternal compassion.
When Great Trees Fall, by Maya Angelou. When great trees fall, rocks on distant hills shudder. Lions hunker down in tall grasses, and even elephants lumber after safety. When great trees fall in forests, small things recoil in silence, their senses eroded beyond fear. When great souls die, the air around us becomes light, rare, sterile. We breathe briefly, our eyes briefly see with a hurtful clarity. Our memory, suddenly sharpened, examines, gnaws on kind words unsaid, promised walks never taken. Great souls die, and our reality, bound to them, takes leave of us. Our souls, dependent upon their nurture, now shrink, wizened. Our minds, formed and informed by their radiance, fall away. We are not so much maddened as reduced to the unutterable ignorance of dark, cold caves. And when great souls die, after a period, peace blooms, slowly and always irregularly. Spaces fill with a kind, soothing, electric vibration. Our senses restored, never to be the same, whispered to us. They existed. They existed. We can be and be better, for they existed.
passed, so had summer. Freddie the leaf had grown large. His midsection was wide and strong, and his 5 extensions were firm and pointed. He had first appeared in spring as a small sprout on a rather large branch near the top of a tall tree. Freddie was surrounded by hundreds of other leaves just like himself, or so it seemed. Soon he discovered that no 2 leaves were alike, even though they were on the same tree. Alfred, the leaf next to him. Ben was the leaf on his right side, and Claire was the lovely leaf overhead. They had all grown up together. They had learned to dance in the spring breezes, bask lazily in the summer sun, and wash off in the cooling rains. But it was Daniel who was Freddie's best friend. He was the largest leaf on the limb and seemed to have been there before anyone else. It appeared to Freddie that Daniel was also the wisest among them. It was Daniel who told them that they were part of a tree. It was Daniel who explained that they were growing in a public park. It was Daniel who told them that the tree had strong roots, which were hidden in the ground below. He explained about the birds who came to sit on their branch and sing morning songs. He explained about the sun, the moon, the stars, and the seasons. Freddie loved being a leaf. He loved his branch, his light-leafy friends, his place high in the sky, the wind that jostled him about, the sun rays that warmed him, the moon that covered him with soft white shadows. Summer had been especially nice. The long hot days felt good, and the warm nights were very peaceful and dreamy. There were many people in the park that summer. They often came and sat under Freddie's tree. Daniel told him that giving shade was part of his purpose. "What's a purpose?" Freddie had asked. "A reason for being," Daniel had answered. "To make things more pleasant for others is a reason for being. To make shade for old people who come to escape the heat of their homes is a reason for being. To provide a cool place for children to come and play. To fan with our leaves the picnickers who come to eat on checkered tablecloths. These are all reasons for being." Freddie especially liked the old people. They sat so quietly on the cool grass and hardly ever moved. They talked in whispers of times of the past. The children were fun too, even though they were sometimes tore holes in the bark of the tree or carved their names into it. Still, it was fun to watch them move so fast and to laugh so much. But Freddie's summer soon passed. It vanished on an October night. He had never felt it so cold. All the leaves shivered with the cold. They were coated with a thick layer of white, which quickly melted and left them dew-drenched and sparkling in the morning sun. Again, it was Daniel who explained that they had experienced their first frost, the sign that it was fall and that winter would soon be there. Almost at once, the whole tree, in fact, the whole park, was transformed into a blaze of color. There was hardly a green leaf left. Alfred had turned a dark yellow. Ben had become a bright orange. Claire had become a blazing red. Daniel a deep purple, and Freddie was red and gold and blue. How beautiful they all looked. Freddie and his friends had made their tree a rainbow. "Why did we turn different colors?" Freddie asked, "when we were on the same tree?" "Each of us is different. We have had different experiences. We have faced the sun differently. We have cast shade differently. Why should we not have different colors?" Daniel said matter-of-factly. Daniel told Freddie that this wonderful season was called fall. One day, a very strange thing happened. The same breezes that in the past had made them dance began to push and pull at their stems, almost as if they were angry. This caused some of the leaves to be torn from their branches and swept up in the wind, tossed about and dropped softly to the ground. All the leaves became frightened.